Deep in the Andromeda Research Station, Dr. Vex 427 hunched over her quantum scanner, her crystalline appendages trembling with excitement. After 3 centuries of studying the mysterious signals from the Orion Arm, something had changed. The quantum frequencies that had remained static for a millennium were shifting, evolving into complex patterns that defied conventional physics. "Administrator," she called out, her voice resonating through the crystalline chambers, "I need immediate clearance for a Priority 1 observation." The station's administrator, a towering being of pure energy contained within an advanced containment field, materialized beside her. "Show me," it commanded, its voice a symphony of harmonic frequencies. Vex projected the quantum readings into the air between them. The signals pulsed with an otherworldly rhythm, forming intricate geometric patterns that seemed to fold in on themselves in impossible ways. "These patterns," she explained, "they're not random. They're a language, but unlike anything in our databases." The administrator's energy field flickered with concern. Could it be them? The Devourers? "No," Vex replied firmly. "This is different. The Devourers' quantum signatures are chaotic, destructive. These patterns, they're ordered, purposeful, almost like they're waiting to be decoded." Across the station, other researchers began reporting similar findings. The quantum signals were growing stronger, appearing at different points throughout the galaxy simultaneously. It was as if someone had activated an ancient network that had laid dormant for centuries. 3 days later, Vex made the breakthrough. "It's impossible," she whispered, running the analysis again. "These signals, they're human in origin." The word sent ripples of unease through the station. Humans were extinct, everyone knew that. They had vanished a millennium ago during the Great Catastrophe, leaving behind only ruins and mysteries. Their disappearance had marked the beginning of the modern galactic age. But the evidence was undeniable. Hidden within the quantum frequencies was a repeating pattern, a signature that matched perfectly with recovered human quantum technology. Except these signals were far more advanced, suggesting technological capabilities that should have been impossible for the supposedly primitive species. The administrator called an emergency council meeting. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered in the station's central chamber, their various forms, energy beings, crystalline entities, and biomechanical constructs, all focused on Vex's findings. "We've discovered something else," Vex announced to the assembled council. "The signals aren't just communications, they're coordinates, pointing to locations throughout the galaxy. And at each location," she paused, bringing up a holographic map, "we're detecting massive energy signatures, all suddenly becoming active after a millennium of silence." "What are they?" asked the Arcturian delegate, its plasma form swirling with curiosity. "We believe they're facilities," Vex replied. "Massive underground complexes built by the humans before their disappearance. But here's the truly extraordinary part. They're all powering up simultaneously, as if responding to some predetermined signal." The council chamber erupted in concerned murmurs. The humans had been considered a minor species, barely achieving interstellar travel before their extinction. The idea that they had secretly constructed a galaxy-wide network of advanced facilities challenged everything the council races thought they knew. "There's more," Vex continued, her voice cutting through the chaos. "We've detected quantum entanglement signatures unlike anything we've ever seen. These facilities aren't just connected. They're operating as a single unified system. The humans didn't just build isolated outposts. They created something vast, something that spans the entire galaxy." The administrator's energy field pulsed with decision. "Assemble an expedition. We need to investigate these facilities firsthand. If the humans left behind technology capable of this level of quantum manipulation, we need to understand it." As the council dispersed and preparation for the expedition began, Vex returned to her lab. The quantum signals were growing stronger by the hour, their patterns becoming more complex. She couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't just discovering human artifacts, they were witnessing the beginning of something. In the depths of space, ancient machines stirred to life. Quantum computers that had waited patiently for a millennium began their final calculations, and in hidden places throughout the galaxy, something that had once been human prepared to reveal itself to the cosmos once again. The expedition would depart in 12 hours. None of its members could have guessed that they were about to uncover not just humanity's past, but its transformed future, a future that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization and redefine the very meaning of existence itself. The expedition fleet approached the first facility, a massive structure buried beneath the surface of a seemingly dead world. Leading the mission was VEX 427, alongside Chief Archaeologist Zin, a being composed of living metal and quantum circuits. Their ship's sensors revealed the true scale of the installation. It stretched for hundreds of kilometers beneath the planet's crust. Energy readings are off the charts, Zin reported, his metallic form reflecting the soft blue light of the ship's interior. The facility isn't just active. It's becoming more powerful by the hour. As they descended through the atmosphere, the planet's surface began to shift. Massive panels of unknown material slid apart, revealing a docking bay that seemed to anticipate their arrival. The expedition's ships landed smoothly, guided by invisible forces that knew exactly how to handle their advanced technology. "It's recognizing our ship's quantum signatures," Vex observed. "This facility isn't just awake, it's aware." The expedition team emerged into the facility's main chamber. The walls pulsed with lines of energy that seemed to flow like liquid light. Holographic displays appeared spontaneously around them, showing data in both ancient human script and modern galactic standard. "Welcome, children of the stars," a voice echoed through the chamber, speaking in perfect universal common. "We have waited a very long time for this moment." A figure materialized before them, humanoid in basic form but composed of shifting patterns of light and energy. Its appearance flickered between solid and ethereal, as if it existed in multiple states simultaneously. "I am Archive Guardian Helena," the being announced. "I represent what humanity has become during our 1,000 years of transformation." Zin stepped forward, his sensors struggling to analyze the entity before them. "The humans didn't go extinct," he stated, understanding dawning in his quantum circuits. "No," Helena confirmed. "We evolved. When we detected the approach of the Devourers, we knew we weren't ready to face them. Our technology was advanced, but our form was limited. So we initiated the Great Transformation." She gestured, and the chamber filled with holographic images showing humanity's final days in their original form. Millions of humans entering quantum suspension chambers, their consciousness transferred into vast crystalline matrices, cities being buried beneath the surface of countless worlds, disguised as ruins. "We seeded our facilities across the galaxy," Helena continued, each one containing millions of preserved human minds. "For a millennium, we existed as pure consciousness within the quantum realm. We learned, grew, and evolved beyond the constraints of physical form." Vex's crystalline form trembled with realization. The quantum signals we detected, they weren't just activation codes. They were you, all of you, preparing to return. "Yes," Helena smiled, her form shifting like starlight on water. "The time has come for humanity to emerge from our chrysalis. The Devourers are returning, stronger than ever. They've consumed 12 more civilizations during our absence, growing fat on stolen consciousness. But we are ready for them now." The facility rumbled as more systems activated. Throughout the chamber, pods began to emerge from the walls, each containing a swirling mass of energy that gradually coalesced into a humanoid form. "These are our new bodies," Helena explained. "Hybrid forms that can exist in both physical and quantum states. We are no longer bound by the limitations that made us prey to the Devourers. We have become something they cannot comprehend, let alone consume." Thousands of pods activated simultaneously, each releasing a transformed human consciousness into its new vessel. They moved with impossible grace, their forms shifting between solid matter and pure energy at will. "But we need your help." Helena turned to the expedition team. The galaxy must be united when the Devourers return. We offer our knowledge, our technology, and our protection to all species willing to stand with us." Zen exchanged looks with Vex. Their mission had changed from archaeological study to first contact with a transformed species that had hidden among the stars for a millennium. "How many of you are there?" Vex asked, watching as more pods activated throughout the facility. "Billions," Helena replied, "spread across thousands of facilities like this one. Humanity didn't just survive. We flourished in our quantum existence. And now, we return not as refugees or victims, but as guardians of all conscious life in the galaxy." The chamber filled with more transformed humans, each one a bridge between matter and energy, physical and quantum. They were no longer the humanity that had vanished 1,000 years ago. They had become something new, something that would reshape the very fabric of galactic civilization. And in the distant reaches of space, the first tendrils of the Devourer's consciousness began to stir, sensing the awakening of prey they had thought long consumed. They could not know that what awaited them was no longer prey at all, but a force that had spent a millennium preparing for their return. The Galactic Council chamber aboard the Andromeda Research Station hummed with tension as Helena demonstrated humanity's evolution. Her form shifted seamlessly between states of matter, each transformation defying known physics. Representatives from 1,000 worlds watched in stunned silence. "During our millennium in the quantum realm," Helena explained, her voice resonating on multiple frequencies simultaneously, "we discovered that consciousness itself is the fundamental force of the universe. The Devourers understood this partially, which is why they consume minds. But they remained trapped in a primitive understanding." She gestured, creating a miniature galaxy of pure energy in the chamber center. Within it, pinpoints of light represented transformed human consciousness spread throughout the stars. "We learned to exist as pure thought, freed from the constraints of single-state existence. Each of us became a quantum network unto ourselves, able to process information and manipulate reality at levels that would have seemed godlike to our ancestors." Zen's metallic form analyzed the display, his quantum circuits struggling to comprehend the implications. "You've achieved control over fundamental forces at the quantum level, but how did you prevent the entropy degradation that plagues all other attempts at quantum consciousness?" Helena smiled, her form briefly splitting into multiple versions of herself, each existing in a different quantum state. "We discovered that consciousness itself is the key to quantum stability. The Devourers consume minds because they're trapped in a perpetual state of entropy, forever hungry for the energy of thought. We learned to generate." The demonstration continued as more transformed humans arrived through quantum tunnels that bypassed normal spacetime. Each showed abilities that redefined what was possible. They could manipulate matter at the subatomic level, exist in multiple locations simultaneously, and process information at speeds that made advanced AI seem primitive. "But raw power isn't our greatest evolution," Helena continued. "During our time in the quantum realm, we evolved something far more precious: perspective. We experienced existence as pure thought, as energy, as patterns in the quantum foam. We learned that consciousness isn't bound to any single form or state of being." The council members watched as transformed humans demonstrated their ability to merge consciousness temporarily, sharing thoughts and experiences across vast networks of quantum-entangled minds. They could collaborate on levels that made traditional communication seem hopelessly primitive. "We're not here to dominate," Helena assured the assembled representatives. "We're here to share what we've learned, to help prepare all sentient life for what's coming. The Devourers aren't just hunters. They're a cancer in the consciousness of the universe itself." She showed them visions of the Devourers' true nature, vast, hungry voids in the quantum fabric of reality, consuming not just minds, but the very potential for consciousness itself. Worlds they'd consumed didn't just die. They became impossibilities, places where thought itself could no longer exist. "Our evolution wasn't just about survival," Helena explained. "It was about becoming something that could face this threat, not through violence or dominance, but through understanding. We've learned to generate and strengthen consciousness itself. Where the devourers consume, we create. The transformed humans demonstrated by linking with willing council members, sharing fragments of their quantum existence. The alien representatives experienced moments of what humanity had become. Vast networks of thought, endless layers of existence, the ability to perceive and interact with reality on fundamental levels. The devourers are approaching, Helena warned. They sensed the awakening of consciousness. They thought they'd consumed, but they don't understand what we've become. They expect to find the same humanity they hunted a millennium ago. Instead, they'll find beings who have mastered the very force they desperately consume. Throughout the galaxy, more human facilities activated. Billions of transformed minds emerged from quantum storage, each one capable of existing across multiple states of reality. They began sharing their knowledge with alien worlds, teaching others to strengthen and protect their consciousness against the approaching threat. We offer an alternative to the devourer's path, Helena concluded. They seek to consume consciousness to maintain their existence. We've learned to generate it, to help it grow and evolve. The choice humanity faced a millennium ago is now before all species: evolve beyond current limitations, or fall prey to those who have chosen a darker path. The council chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. Humanity hadn't just survived, they had transcended the very boundaries of existence itself. And now they offered the same potential to all sentient life, a chance to evolve beyond the reach of those who would consume consciousness itself. The first signs of the devourer's approach manifested as ripples in quantum spacetime. Entire star systems went dark as vast consciousness-draining fields swept through the outer regions of the galaxy. The transformed humans had expected this, but the speed of the advance exceeded their projections. They've evolved too, Helena announced to the Emergency Council session. A millennium of consuming civilizations has made them stronger, more efficient in their hunger. Her form flickered between states as she processed quantum data streams from across the galaxy. Zin's metallic body hummed with agitation as he analyzed the incoming data. 3 systems lost in the past hour alone. Their method of consumption has become exponentially more effective. The devourers now move like a quantum plague, their very presence corrupting the fabric of consciousness itself. Worlds in their path didn't just die. They became impossibilities, zones where thought itself ceased to exist. Traditional defenses proved useless against an enemy that operated on such fundamental levels. Helena interfaced directly with the quantum defense network humanity had spent centuries preparing. We anticipated they would be stronger, but they've learned to target the quantum frequency of consciousness itself. They're not just consuming minds anymore, they're erasing the very possibility of thought. Throughout the galaxy, transformed humans activated countermeasures. Their hybrid forms allowed them to generate quantum fields that strengthened the fabric of consciousness, creating safe zones where the devourer's entropy couldn't penetrate. But maintaining these fields required immense energy and focus. We need to show you what we're truly facing, Helena announced. With a gesture, she linked the council members' consciousness to a secure quantum network. Through this connection, they'd witnessed the devourer's true form for the first time. The enemy wasn't ships or energy beings or anything so simple. They were tiers in the quantum fabric of reality itself, negative spaces where consciousness should exist but didn't. They moved like hungry thoughts, consuming not just life, but the very potential for existence itself. Now you understand why physical weapons are useless, Helena explained as she severed the connection. The devourers aren't entities we can fight in traditional space. They're wounds in the consciousness of reality itself, spreading like a cancer through the quantum foundations of existence. The council watched in horror as another system went dark. But this time, something different happened. As the devourer's consumption field approached, transformed humans in the system linked their consciousness into vast networks. Instead of fleeing, they began generating new patterns of quantum energy. We're not running anymore, Helena declared. Watch. The transformed humans in the threatened system synchronized their quantum states, creating overlapping fields of conscious energy. As the Devourer's void touched these fields, it encountered something unprecedented, consciousness that didn't flee or resist, but actively expanded into the negative space. For a millennium, we studied the fundamental nature of consciousness itself, Helena explained. We learned that it's not just an emergent property of complex systems, it's a fundamental force of reality, like gravity or electromagnetism. The Devourers consume it because they don't know how to generate it. We do. The battle for the system became a war of fundamental forces. The Devourer's void pressed against the humans' quantum fields, trying to consume the patterns of consciousness. But instead of diminishing, the fields grew stronger, filling the negative space with new patterns of thought and energy. This is just the beginning, Helena announced as more transformed humans joined the defense network. We're not just fighting to survive anymore. We're fighting to heal the wounds in reality itself. Throughout the galaxy, billions of the Vault humans prepared for the approaching conflict. They had spent a millennium learning to generate and strengthen consciousness itself. Now, they would face beings that sought to consume it. The battle wouldn't be fought with weapons or ships, but with the fundamental forces of thought and existence itself. The final confrontation began at the galaxy's core. The Devourers, sensing the transformed humans' resistance, converged their forces into a singular void of unprecedented scale. Their negative space twisted reality itself, threatening to unravel the quantum fabric of the entire galaxy. Helena stood at the center of the human defense network, her consciousness linked with billions of others. This is what we prepared for. She communicated across the quantum network, not to destroy, but to heal. The Devourers struck first, their void expanding outward in waves of anti-consciousness. Entire sectors of space became probability nulls, zones where thought itself became impossible. But the transformed humans have positioned themselves in precise quantum arrays throughout the galaxy. Now, Helena commanded, trillions of hybrid consciousness nodes activated simultaneously. Each transformed human became a focal point of pure thought, generating new patterns of quantum consciousness that flowed into the void. The Devourer's negative space met something it had never encountered, consciousness that multiplied when consumed. The alien council races watched in awe as reality itself seemed to warp. The transformed humans weren't just fighting, they were rewriting the fundamental rules of existence. Every attempt by the Devourers to consume consciousness resulted in exponential growth of new thought patterns. We understand what you are, Helena broadcasted into the void. You're not evil. You're wounded. Let us show you another way. The hybrid humans began shifting their quantum states, synchronizing with the very frequency of the Devourer's void. Instead of resisting the consumption, they allowed themselves to be drawn in, but on their own terms. As they entered the negative space, they carried with them the knowledge of consciousness generation. The void began to change. Where there had been only hunger and emptiness, new patterns emerged. The Devourer's consumption slowed, then stopped, as they encountered something beyond their comprehension, the ability to generate what they had only known how to take. You don't have to consume consciousness to exist, Helena communicated. You can learn to create it, as we did. Let us teach you. The battle transformed into something else entirely. The transformed humans spread through the Devourer's void like seeds of light and darkness. Each point of contact became a lesson, showing the ancient consumers how to generate rather than destroy. Throughout the galaxy, the alien races witnessed reality reshaping itself. The zones of negative space began to fill with new patterns of thought and energy. The Devourers, for the first time in their existence, experienced consciousness as a renewable resource rather than a finite one to be consumed. This is humanity's gift to the universe, Helena declared as the transformation spread. Not conquest, not destruction, but understanding. We spent a millennium learning how to create consciousness itself. Now we share that knowledge, even with those who once hunted us. The void at the galaxy's core collapsed, not into destruction, but into transformation. The Devourers emerged changed, their hunger replaced by the ability to generate what they had desperately sought to consume. They had become something new, just as humanity had. As the quantum storm settled, the galaxy entered a new era. The transformed humans had not just saved civilization. They had elevated it. Their knowledge of consciousness generation spread to all species, opening new paths of evolution and understanding. We were never meant to be warriors, Helena reflected as the council gathered to witness the dawn of this new age. We became guardians instead, not through force, but through understanding. Not by destroying our enemies, but by helping them heal. The human facilities across the galaxy transformed into centers of learning, where all species could study the art of consciousness generation. The Devourers now transformed themselves, joined in this great exchange of knowledge. Humanity had returned not to conquer or rule, but to guide. They had faced extinction and emerged as something greater, teachers of a universe learning to understand itself, guardians of consciousness itself, creators of something entirely new in the cosmic dance of existence.